Alright, it's 2:30 a.m., so time for midnight ops. So this is the Jolt, so you see it there, the real arcade. That's the part that goes over the solenoid there. So this is the real arcade Jolt gun, originally a PlayStation 2 gun that I've modded for Gun4IR. So first, obviously, shout out to JB Labs for making the Gun4IR system. And this gun was brought to my attention from Ray at RPEG Electronics, as well as having seen it mentioned on, I believe, Kongs R Us and Retro Ralph. So that's where I originally saw these guns, and I've been looking for one like this for a long time because, you know, obviously the Time Crisis guns, or, you know, having a little more, you know, arcadey feel with the, you know, with the slide back here. So one of the things I don't like is how loose and jiggly it is. So, but of course these were mass produced, not like they're bespoke items here. So I may end up putting another like washer in here to tighten this up, but I'm not sure if that would, if the plays in there for a, you know, engineering reason or not. So anyway, this was my first go at the Gun4IR system, and I made a lot of mistakes on it. So, and I'm going to end up actually ripping this entire one apart and redoing it. So just want to kind of go through just a little bit on kind of what it is from front to back here. So you'll see, you know, obviously there's a camera here, and then I also did the rumble motor, and then the of course kept the solenoid in. So let's kind of look at the front here. So this is obviously the front. So I have the fisheye lens here. You'll see that I didn't do a very good job of securing it. It's actually loose right here. The hot glues come loose, and, you know, using it, you know, obviously, you know, the lens tilting is going to mess up my aim there. And this one, the other reason I'm rebuilding, if it worked perfectly, I wouldn't bother. You know, if it works, it works, whether I want to use certain aspects of it or not, or came with a better design. But this one freezes up sometimes, like when I point to one side of the screen, like for off-screen reload, or just arbitrarily it'll freeze up. I believe it's because the board actually, I did some damage to it, and I'll get to that in a moment here. The reason I believe I did some damage to it is because JB, when I asked him a question about it, basically said that, you know, that what I did cause some damage probably. So you'll see here, hopefully there's not too much glare on that circuit board. Once again, I'm still learning about lighting here. So you see the Arduino here, and I don't know, my hands aren't the steadiest hands in the world, so I didn't, you know, solder directly to the board. I actually put the pins in there and then put these connectors on there to connect it. You can kind of see right here, yep, you can see right there, my lovely melting work to get the cords through right there in the gun before I modded it. Those were complete for, you know, structure, as well as this here where the line runs, all these lines run through here. This was a complete, no, there's a small hole here, because this is where the camera set right underneath here, or the IR detector. Not on this board, this was a board I put in, but that's where the you know, the detector went through right there. So there's a little hole, but I widened it out to fit all those wires in there. This right here, this resistor, this was recommended, or basically JB told me I need to put this in here. This goes between the VCC line, or the 5 volts on the Arduino, to the rumble motor. What it does is the rumble motors that JB called them Chinese rumble motors. Essentially, they draw more current than they're supposed to, which leads to issues. So one of my main thing was, like, when I pull the trigger, the rumble motor it would go and just not stop. So I put in the resistor, as JB said. I didn't have that problem anymore, but like I said, I had a problem with the gun freezing and not being able to move, keep detecting. I'd have to unplug it, plug it back in, which, you know, ruined a bunch of the connections and things like that. So that's one of the reasons I'm going to redo this. Of course, the other reason is you can see how messy it is. So moving this way, this right here is the that's the recoil circuit. For a good tutorial on that, definitely see Arcade Pirate's site. I did this before he did his tutorial, so I had to do it myself, figure it out. Of course, JB's walkthrough or his PDF on his GitHub site is a great resource for that. He also has some troubleshooting on there, but that's where I got the design. I had to do it a couple times before I got it right, but Arcade Pirate, he has a great tutorial on how to do this circuit, as well as the rumble motor circuit, which is right here for me. So that's this one right here, and of course I got the rumble motor switch there. Kept the switches here. I had to basically redo all the switches. You can see my nice burn marks here from my soldering because I've messed around with stuff so much. So like 24 gauge wires just couldn't stand up to me messing around with them that much, and they broke. I also soldering this also melted through the original switch. I bought a bunch of switches to replace it. So this is a replacement switch here from the original. And then the power here that comes in. Oh, and here's another switch. This actually is connected up for the pedal. So if I wanted to plug in the pedal that came with it, I could in this one. I'm not going to have it in the one I'm going to redo because of the way I have it set up. It's not needed. But so this is a switch that can be used. But those pedals are pretty cheap. I didn't really like the feel of them too much. It really feels like the plastic on this is not that. It doesn't give confidence. It's not arcade grade plastic. It's not like built to withstand a bunch of kids banging on it for a couple of years at a time. It's not like the the 45, however you say it, Suzo Hapter 45s, which I have in my cabinet over there, really like thick plastic on them. You can beat the crap out of them, and they don't even chip. This one doesn't feel, doesn't have that, durability to it. But then again, it's not going to have thousands of kids banging on it and throw it in frustration. If one of my kids throws it in frustration, I'll throw them, considering how much work I had to put into this thing. So this was the first one I did. From start to finish, from when I decided to do it, probably took me actually 2 months. But that was because I didn't have any components for it, so there's a bunch of shipping involved. I didn't even have a soldering iron. Actually, I'm on my third soldering iron just because, they're not that expensive, at least the ones I was buying, until I found one that I liked, that I liked the feel of it, and the adjustments of it. Of course, I didn't have any, I didn't have any components at all, so I had to order all the components, and I'm down to my last 3 out of 10. So I've gone through 7 of these. I only have 3 guns to show for it, so I got to be careful on that. Although I do have 1 sitting here, waiting for my next build there. So I have 4. So I've gone through 6, and I only have 3 guns to show. And of course, this one, I guess I could reuse it on the next build because it works. But I don't know if I'm going to because of the way I have it designed. So no, I'm probably not going to, and I probably can't, salvage it. Oh, the power coming in. So the power for the solenoid is 12 volts. I'm using the just the connector that came with it. So you'll see it comes in here, and the power supply over here. Let me grab it. So this is the power supply that came with it. I bought 2 of these. I bought them when they weren't that hugely expensive. I think I haven't looked recently. Last time I looked at these, they were $250 a piece. $250 a piece. I got 2 of these with shipping for $250. So they're around $100, $110 when I bought them. Like I said, now they're $250 a piece. Or last time I saw, Ray showing them to everybody, drove the prices up, which I didn't know these exist. So I'm glad he showed, and I'm glad I was able to purchase them when I did. Because like I said, they have, they're like the Time Crisis where they have that, but they're not costing you near as much as the Time Crisis or getting it from, China, from Ali. So just want to walk through this one and I'll open up my other two that I have and walk through those as well. Like I said, the third one I did, which was the second one of these that I got, because I wanted to try to get everything to work before I busted it open again. And that's the design I'm going to go with, and I'll show that next time.